All right, so welcome to the deep dive. And today we're doing a deep dive into something I think is going to be pretty interesting.
Okay.
We're looking at Amazon's electronics bestsellers, those lists,
Mm.
to see if we can get a glimpse into like current consumer tech trends.
Okay.
It's almost like, cultural anthropology,
Yeah.
but with shopping carts.
Right?
What are people buying? What are they interested in?
Yeah, it's a really fascinating approach, I think, because it lets us sort of, look at what people are actually putting their money towards,
Exactly.
which can tell us a lot about what they value, what problems they're trying to solve. And I think it's a really interesting snapshot of like where we're at right now with technology.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
So let's dive right into some of these products.
Okay.
One that really caught my eye right away was this power bank solar charger,
Okay.
4,800 milliwatt capacity,
Wow.
which is huge. It's a
Yeah.
bestseller.
Yeah.
And it has solar charging, a flashlight,
It's like a survival kit almost.
yeah, exactly. Like if you're camping, power outage, zombie apocalypse, I don't know,
Right. Yeah. You're ready for anything.
anything. Okay, this next one I think is going to appeal to like the sentimental techies out there.
Okay.
The Max Angel digital photo frame,
All right.
10.1-inch touchscreen,
Yay.
SD card slot, automatic rotation.
Oh, wow.
So, we've all seen those digital photo frames that have been around forever. They're just kind of like static.
Yeah, just one image, kind of clunky.
Right, exactly. This is a whole different thing.
That's cool. Yeah.
Is this like a resurgence? Like are digital photo frames coming back?
I'm curious about that.
Yeah.
Right?
Or is it just this one product that's caught people's attention?
Yeah, interesting.
Speaking of things that might be making a comeback,
Okay.
this one's a real blast from the past. Victrola portable suitcase turntable.
Ooh.
It comes in this like gorgeous turquoise blue, very like a nice vintage aesthetic, but it also has Bluetooth connectivity,
Okay.
and they even include an extra stylus. So, we've talked before about how vinyl's had like a resurgence.
Yeah, yeah.
Is this part of that? Or is it just like people wanting the cool retro vibe?
Right.
I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, I think it's a mix of both. I think there's definitely a nostalgia factor there, but I also think, there's something about the tactile experience of vinyl,
Yeah.
like actually putting the needle on the record.
Right.
It's a different way of listening to music.
It's like a ritual almost.
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
You're really engaging with it.
Okay, so we've got portable power, we've got digital frames to connect us with those memories, and turntables for a maybe more mindful musical experience.
Mm.
I feel like I'm sensing some like broader themes here, though.
Yeah,
What are you seeing?
Well, I think one of the biggest things that jumps out at me is this whole idea of wireless and portable technology.
Okay.
It's not just about convenience, it's about this kind of freedom and flexibility that people are looking for, right? We can work from anywhere, we can stay connected on the go,
Yeah.
and I think these products really speak to that.
And it's not even just like our personal devices anymore.
Yeah,
Like smart home integration, the Echo Dot,
Yes.
which we all know and love, or maybe,
Yeah.
have mixed feelings about.
Sure.
But these devices that can control like our lights and our thermostats, our music, like it's,
Yeah, it's all about creating a really seamless and interconnected living experience. And I think that's something that people are really gravitating towards.
Yeah, definitely. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
But we should probably talk about like the data privacy side of all of that too at some point.
Yeah, we'll definitely get into that. That's a big one.
But for now, I'm also seeing a lot of things around like immersive visual and audio experiences.
Oh, yeah.
Drones with cameras that can take like amazing footage, projectors, the turntables we just talked about, like these noise canceling headphones.
Right. It's like people want to create their own little worlds.
Yes.
Their own little escapes. Yeah.
And I think that's really cool.
Yeah.
But you know what else I'm seeing a lot of?
What's that?
Sustainability.
Okay.
Like I'm seeing a lot more products that are talking about being eco-friendly.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm seeing labels like reducing CO2, carbon-free certified. Like
Yeah.
it seems like people are actually paying attention.
I think so, too. And I think that's really encouraging
Yeah.
to see that, consumers are starting to vote with their wallets
Yeah.
and demand more sustainable products.
Yeah. Maybe we can have our tech and save the planet too.
I hope so.
All right, so we've covered a lot of ground already.
We have.
We've talked about portable power, smart homes, immersive entertainment, sustainable tech.
Yeah, it's a lot to unpack.
There's a lot to unpack, and there are some deeper implications that we need to get into as well.
Absolutely.
So we'll take a quick break and we'll be right back.
Sounds good. It's really exciting to see all this innovation in consumer tech, but we do have to remember that it's not all positive. Right.
There are some implications, some downsides potentially that we should talk about.
Yeah, for sure. And one of those that I'm particularly interested in is like the ethical side of things.
Yeah.
We touched on data privacy a little bit before the break.
Right.
That feels like a big one.
It is a huge one, and it's only getting bigger, right? As our devices get smarter, more interconnected, they're collecting more and more data about us.
Yeah, it's kind of creepy when you think about it, like your phone tracking your location,
Yeah.
your fitness tracker, monitoring your heart rate, your sleep,
Right.
your smart speaker, listening to your conversations, social media, tracking everything you click on. And like,
yeah, it's a lot.
it's a lot. I mean, companies say they're doing this to, personalize our experience.
Yeah.
Recommend products we might like.
Right.
Even like improve our healthcare. But when does it cross the line?
That's the question, right? I mean, personalization can be great.
Yeah. It can help us discover new things, connect with people, but it can also be used to manipulate us.
Right. And who owns all that data anyway?
Exactly. And how are they using it? Are they selling it? Are they sharing it with third parties?
Yeah. These are questions that I think we need to be asking.
Yeah, and I think it's important to be aware of the data that we're giving away. Most of us just click agree on those privacy policies without even reading them.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I'm guilty of that.
We all are. They're so long and complicated, but there are things we can do,
Okay. Like what?
Adjust our privacy settings on social media, be careful about the apps we download.
Okay.
There are also tools like VPNs, which encrypt our internet traffic, and ad blockers, which prevent those targeted ads.
That's good, yeah.
So there are things we can do as individuals, but
Right, but it shouldn't all be on us,
Yeah.
right? Like, what about the tech companies? What about the government?
absolutely, we need systemic change as well.
Yeah.
We need laws and regulations that protect our data privacy,
Right.
that hold companies accountable for how they use our information.
Okay, so data privacy, big one. But what else?
Well, another thing we should talk about is algorithmic bias.
Okay, yeah, I've heard about that, but I'm not sure I totally get it.
So algorithms are these sets of rules that computers use to make decisions.
Okay.
And they're used everywhere now, from social media feeds to hiring decisions to loan applications.
Wow, okay.
But the problem is that if the data that these algorithms are trained on is biased, then the algorithm will be biased too.
So, like, if it's trained on data that shows, men being more successful in tech,
Exactly.
then it might unfairly favor men, even if a woman is more qualified.
Right. And this can lead to all sorts of problems, discrimination, inequality.
Yeah, it's like we're letting the computers make these important decisions.
Right. And we need to be careful about that.
So what can we do about it?
Well, for one thing, we need to make sure that the data sets used to train these algorithms are diverse and representative. We also need to be aware of the potential for bias and be willing to challenge those decisions.
That was good. I like that.
Yeah, and we need to demand transparency from the companies using these algorithms.
Yeah, for sure.
We need to know how they work, what data they're using,
Right.
and how they're making those decisions.
So we've talked about data privacy. We've talked about algorithmic bias. Anything else we should be thinking about?
Well, I think another big one is the potential for technology to be used for manipulation and social control.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's scary.
It is. Think about the spread of misinformation on social media.
Yeah.
The use of facial recognition for surveillance.
Right.
These are very powerful tools.
And they can be used for good or for bad.
Exactly. And I think it's really important that we're having these conversations, that we're thinking critically about how these technologies are being used.
Yeah, I'm feeling a little overwhelmed by all this, to be honest.
I understand it's a lot.
Like, are we doomed? Are we just going to be controlled by algorithms and, manipulated by technology?
I don't think so.
Oh,
I think we have the power to shape the future of technology
Okay.
through awareness, through education, through action.
Okay, I like that. That's more hopeful.
Yeah, we need to be proactive, we need to be engaged, and we need to demand better from the companies that are creating these technologies.
Okay, so it's not about rejecting technology. It's about using it wisely
Exactly.
and intentionally.
Yes.
All right, well, that's a good note to end on for this segment.
Yeah.
We'll be back in just a minute to talk about what we can actually do to, make sure that the future of technology is a positive one.
Sounds good.
That's the big question, right?
Okay.
Like we've talked about all these potential problems,
Right.
but what can we actually do about it? How do we make sure that the future of technology is,
Yeah.
a good one?
Well, I think a lot of it comes down to what I would call like digital literacy.
Okay.
And that doesn't just mean like knowing how to use the latest gadgets.
Right.
It means understanding the broader impact of technology on our lives.
So being like informed and critical consumers of technology.
Exactly, yeah. Being able to evaluate information critically,
Okay.
recognize bias, make informed decisions about how we use technology.
So it's like we need a whole new set of skills to like navigate this digital world.
Yeah, I think so.
Where do we even start with that?
I think it starts with education,
Okay.
both for ourselves and for future generations, you know? We need to equip people with the tools and knowledge to understand how technology works,
Mhm.
how it's shaping our world, and how to use it safely and responsibly.
So are we talking about like, incorporating digital literacy into school curriculums,
Yeah.
offering like workshops and training programs, even just like talking to our friends and family about this stuff?
Absolutely, yeah. The more we talk about it, the more aware we become.
Right.
And I think the better equipped we are to make good choices.
But education's only part of it, right?
All right.
Like what else can we do?
Well, I think we also need collective action.
What do you mean by that?
Supporting organizations that are advocating for digital rights,
Yeah.
ethical AI development, responsible tech policies.
Mm-hmm.
We need to hold tech companies accountable for their actions, demand more transparency.
So use our voices and our choices as consumers to actually like shape the industry.
Exactly, yeah. We have a lot more power than we think we do.
I like that.
Yeah.
So it's not all doom and gloom.
No, not at all.
So to kind of wrap things up here, what are some key takeaways that you hope people will, remember from this deep dive?
Well, first of all, I hope they'll be excited about all the cool stuff that's happening in consumer tech, right?
Yeah.
There's a lot of potential there to make our lives better,
Yeah.
But we have to be mindful of the risks. We
Yeah.
need to be critical, ask questions,
Yeah.
and demand better from the companies that are creating these technologies.
So be informed, be engaged,
Yeah,
and be empowered.
exactly.
Well said. I know I've learned a lot from this conversation.
Yeah.
I hope our listeners have too.
Me too.
And you know what? I'd love to hear from you guys.
Yeah.
What tech trends are you excited about? What are you worried about?
Yeah, how are you navigating all this stuff?
Yeah, let us know. Keep exploring, stay curious, and remember, the future of tech is in our hands.
That's right.
All right, thanks for joining us on the Deep Dive.
Thanks for having me.
We'll see you next time.